Hey folks, Thomas here. Welcome back to Mears Lab. In today's episode, we're going to check out this cool guitar tube preamp that I made here earlier this week. If that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned. So what is this thing here? Well, this box is a thing you can plug your guitar into right here in the front, and it's got a gain control here, and you can crank up the gain, and you can add some more overdrive to your signal, or you can keep it sort of down like that and keep your guitar tone sort of nice and clean. Or like I said, you can crank it up there and get lots of overdrive if you want. And then up on the top here, it's got an output level control here, kind of like a master volume. And we've got a 12AX7 tube here, and this is set for 2 gain stages within the preamp here. And then we've got an output socket here, and then we have the power transformer right here, and then on the underside we've got all the electronics, and we'll have a closer look at that a little bit later in this video. So yeah, basically you'd plug your guitar into the front of this, and then you'd take the output, and then you could plug that into another your guitar amplifier, and use this sort of like a pedal, or you could plug it into your computer and record with it, or you could take this to a gig and use it on stage, sort of like a preamp for a PA or something. And it's really nice to sort of warm up your tone with the 12AX7 tube here. And it really doesn't alter your tone too much, really. You know, the idea is that it just sort of gives you some volume control. If you've got a weak pickup in your guitar, whether it's an acoustic or electric, and you can crank up the gain some more. Or maybe you just want to add a little bit of overdrive, you know, and just alter your tone just a little bit with the gain knob here. You can do that too. And then you can adjust your volume here to match it to whatever the needs are for the system you're plugging it into. And yeah, it's pretty handy here. On the back of it, we've got a 3-prong output or a power socket here, and this is for the power that we use here in Canada, so that's 120 volts. And then we've got a fuse here, and then we have an on-off switch over here as well too. So that's a look at what this tube preamp does. Let's take an overview of the whole circuit. So we can see this is where the power comes in. Here, there's our 3-prong power inlet right here from the wall, and then it goes over here to the fuse. You can see here's the hot, and it goes over here to the fuse. Then that goes to the switch, and then that goes to the primary side of the transformer, which is the black and white lead right here that goes through this hole right there. And then on the other side of the transformer, out of this hole here, comes the secondary leads, and here's the green wires. This will be for the filament of the vacuum tube, and then the red leads, that's the high voltage secondary winding right there. So if we look at this middle section here, this will be sort of part of the power supply as well too. This is the full bridge rectifier right here. And this is the filter cap right here. This is a 500 volt, 22 microfarad cap. And yeah, so there's basically the power supply section right over there. And yeah, so I'm not going to spend too much time going over like the depths of circuit design and what all these components do, and maybe we'll save that for another video here. But basically, yeah, this component right here takes the high voltage AC and it converts it into DC, and then this capacitor here, it smooths out that wavy DC signal, and it just sort of filters it and makes it more smooth, if you will, and gets rid of some of the noise. And yeah, it does a pretty decent job with that. Maybe I would like to put a bit of a higher value in than 22, but you know, for now this is actually working not too bad. Over on this side, this is where you can see all of the sort of the input circuitry, if you will. And although I know it looks pretty messy because there's basically just all kinds of stuff hanging all over the place here and wires all over the place, but it does actually make some sense, and we'll have a closer look at here in a few more minutes and try to make some sense out of it here. And yeah, so if we look over here, we can see this is where the gain knob is here, and that's the master volume knob. This is the output socket. There's the input, and there's the light right there, the indicator light. Which I will say, I'll take a moment to mention. This is one of this circuit, because it's so small. The box I built it's so small in this box. It is admittedly a little noisy, but that's because everything's just so close together inside the box, you know. And I did the best I could with keeping leads, you know, far apart from each other, and keeping things short where I could, and, you know, keeping wires up against the chassis and all that sort of stuff, you know. But try as I may, you know, it still is a little on the noisy side, and I figure that's because things are so close together. And I think that this light is a big source of that, because this is powered through the 6.3 volt AC winding to the filament that goes to the filament to the tube down here, and it's pretty close to the input circuitry as well too. So, you know, looking back, maybe it would have been nice to put this in a bigger enclosure, but hey, I like this little enclosure. I think it looks really cool, you know. So heck, you know, whatever, you know, maybe next time I'll build it in a bigger box. Oh well. Anyways, let's keep going. Yeah, you can see way down there underneath everything else is where the tube socket is. And I'll zoom in here, and then we can have a closer look at that. Let's do that now. Let's go way in here. Okay. Just that focus down there. There we go. Okay, so hopefully we can see things okay down there. So you can see there's pin 1 right here. That's pin 1, and then it kind of goes around in a clockwise fashion all the way to pin 9. Okay, so pin 1 is the plate for the first side of the 12AX7 tube. So just once again, a quick little reminder, a 12AX7 tube is kind of like two tubes in one, if you will. It has two different sides to it, so it has two plates, two grids, two cathodes. And so pin 1 is the plate for side 1, and pin 2 is the grid for side 1, and pin 3 is the cathode for side 1. And pins 4 and 5 are for the filament, as well as pin 9. And then and the easy way to remember it is it just the pattern repeats again over on the second side. So it goes plate, grid, cathode. So that's pin 6 would be the plate, pin 7 is the grid, pin 8 is the cathode. And that's just like the first side right there. So yeah, so basically how this works is, and really in quick, the signal comes into the input here. It goes to the grid of the first basically side of the 12X7 tube, and then it basically passes through that, goes out of the plate, and then it goes into the grid of the second side of the tube, and then it goes out of that plate over to the output right here, and then that's what you're hearing. And this gain knob is placed in between the two, this one right over here, this guy right there. This one is placed in between the two gain stages in the 12AX7 tube. And that's very similar to basically how most tube amplifiers work, really. And this is an idea I got from the Fender Champ guitar amplifier. That's how that sort of circuit works. And then I placed a master volume here, basically just on the output after the second plate, the second side of the tube, so that after the signal goes out of that, then it goes through this other potentiometer here, and that just gives us some master volume. And the reason that's useful is so that you can sort of crank up the gain, and it's not going to it's not going to be too loud, the output. You can turn down the output so that you can adjust the gain to whatever sort of level that you want, the amount of overdrive in the signal. You can adjust that to whatever you want, and then sort of get the master volume set just right as well too, you know? Yeah, okay, well that's a bit of an overview of the circuit right here. And once again, I don't want to get too in-depth with it. You know, we could go over the values of the resistors that I used and the and the capacitors and that sort of stuff, you know, and maybe we'll do that in another video. I don't want this one to get too long, you know. But if you're interested in that, then just let me know, and I'd be happy to discuss the values and why I chose these values and you know, and why these caps, you know, why I use these and what that thing is and all that sort of stuff. You know, just let me know if you're interested, and I'd be happy to talk about it. Okay, well, I think that it's probably about time that we should plug into it here and hear what it sounds like. So let's prop it up a little bit so you can see it. You're not gonna be able to see it that well, but oh well. Okay, so I'm gonna plug it into the bench here. Just plug it in over there, and then I've got an ICO multi-signal tracer here, model 145 on the bench. You can't really see it; it's sort of back there. But yeah, we'll just plug the output from this into that, and it's just got a little maybe 5-inch speaker in it, 4 or 5-inch speaker. So it's not going to sound, it's not going to like rock the stadium or anything like that, but you know, it'll sound pretty cool, and it'll get the job done. So yeah, let's get this in here. Plug that in over there. Make sure our voltage is off on our mirror safety box there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna turn up the voltage here, and I've got a current limited voltage supply here. There we go, and I've also got a variac on it here as well too, so I can bring up the voltage slowly. Not that I need to. I've already tested the circuit, but I don't want to jinx myself, you know. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's good. So let's flick it on here. Okay, and I guess there was no real need to bring up the voltage there slowly since I had the power switch turned off. But anyways, whatever. Okay. All right, now I just gotta find the cable here. Oh yeah, let's turn on the signal tracer there as well. Okay, so I got this is my Squire Strat here, and I've got we're in the bridge position, and I've got a Seymour Duncan Hot Rails in it here, so yeah. Okay, so let's just turn the gain, we'll turn the gain up to halfway here, and we'll turn the signal tracer up to number 2, and let's, hopefully we got some volume here. Oh dear. We have no volume. Oh yeah, I was tinkering with it a little bit earlier. I think I got a bad solder in there. Anyways, okay, there we go. We're going. Oh man. That is embarrassing. But it happens, folks. Yeah, I think I gotta... bad solder or something in there. Okay, let's have a look at that, okay? Anyways, let's turn everything off here. Let's turn it all off. Okay, let's check that out. Okay, this is unplanned, but you know what? That's the fun of unscripted video. Is cool stuff like this can happen. All right, let's unplug everything here. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I forgot about this. I kind of knew that this was gonna happen. Okay. All right, so let's zoom in here. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's get you in focus. All right, here's what's going on here, folks. Hopefully you can see that all right. Okay, so let's brighten this up a little bit too here, right? Oh, I can't brighten that up at all. Okay. Anyways, oh yeah, I can brighten that up. There we go. Okay, now I can see a bit better. Okay, there we go. Okay, so when I take this and I sort of like move this around like that, that's what makes it cut in and out. And I think what might be going on is I think that there is some dirt or something inside this potentiometer right here. And there's also potentially, terrible joke, a bad solder connection here as well too. So I think I'm gonna tidy up that solder connection right there as well. So I think I'll do the solder first. Actually, I'm just gonna redo all three of these solders, and then I'll spray it out with some cleaner, and then we'll give it another go here, and hopefully that'll work. And I'll do it on camera here so that you can take part in the fun as well too. Okay, so let's turn on this stuff here. Okay, let's get right into it here. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is you know what, I'm not going to make this too complicated. I'm just going to get in here and just add a little bit more solder onto those connections. Okay, clean off the tip, wet the tip here a little bit. Okay, and so I'm just going to do this ground tab here first. Make sure I get a really good ground connection here for everything. Good. Okay, now this is the troublesome one right here. Hopefully you can see everything okay there. There we go. That's a bit of a better angle for me to solder at here. There we go. There. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's... Yeah, okay. We're running out of room here, folks. Okay, let's get right in there. Okay. Here we go. Never in flavor country. Oh yeah. There we go. I think we did it. Okay, look at that. Okay, oh yeah. No, you can't see that. Okay, let's get that focus. Oh yeah, look at those solders. We got some shininess. I think those are gonna be much better. Okay, let's do some more inspecting here. Let's okay, well you can't, oh yeah, there, that's the angle right there. Okay, let's get that focus going on. Look at that. Oh yeah. Okay. So we want to make sure that there's no little hangy bits that are touching the bottom of the chassis, any little wires, anything getting in there. No, I think they were okay. So I'm just going to hit it with some deoxit here and hope that that was the magic fix. Okay, let's go grab some deoxit. Ugh, this stuff always makes such a big mess, but it also works. Blech. Clean, turn. Make sure we get both sides of that real good. Oh yeah. Get all of that cleaned in there. There we go. Give that another spray. Get all that flushed out of there. Oh yeah. And you know what, just because we're having fun, let's do this one as well too. Oh, you can't see that. Okay. Let's get that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bet you never thought it'd be this much fun watching somebody clean a potentiometer, eh? Oh yeah. Okay, let's give that another spray. Oh man. I especially like how the electronics cleaner leaks out all over the desk. Okay, cool. That one was not even causing us any issues, but it's also clean now as well too. Okay, sweet. Okay, so let's get a big zoom out going here. Okay, and let's get a bit of an ISO drop down here so we're not quite so whammo in the brightness department. There we go. Okay, so now we got ourselves a nicely composed and focused shot here of the whole thing majigger, and we got ourselves some tidied up solders down there, and now I think that we're ready to plug it in, and hopefully it'll work. Okay, so let's set it up here. Okay. Yeah, so just to go over that again, we had I went to go turn it on, and it turned on, but it made no sound. And the reason why is because I think that I had a bad solder connection on the master volume control here. So we just touched up the solders on that. Oops. Turn on voltage here. Bring it up slowly. You can see the light turn on there. Cool. Okay. So let's look for something to wipe my hands on before I pick up my guitar. Shorts will have to do. Okay. Grab my guitar. Hopefully you hear some sound this time. And there we go. Plug that in there. Let's turn on the signal tracer. And hopefully we'll hear some sweet guitar sounds this time. Oh, gotta plug in here. Oh yeah! Okay, let me just get my guitar tuned up a little bit here. Okay, we're all plugged in and we're ready to rock out now, so let's give this thing a test. I've got the gain control set to halfway, and I've got the master volume output set to halfway, and I don't have any fancy microphones or anything set up here. We're just using the microphone built right into the Canon RP camera that we're using here for this video. So yeah, let's hit some notes on this Squier Strat guitar with a Seymour Duncan Hot Rails pickup in it and hear how it sounds. I'm just gonna tinker around with the settings here a little bit, and I realize you probably can't really see them very well, but anyways, yeah, and you can hear what it sounds like, at least anyways. Cool. Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. There is the tube guitar preamp right there, in its wholeness. Oh, I better turn down that voltageness here before I give myself a big shockness. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that. That little tour through this 12x7 based tube guitar preamp that I made here earlier this week. And if you're interested in building something like this yourself, I encourage you to give it a try, because it's really not all that hard. I actually didn't spend any money on this at all. I just made it out of parts that I had sort of hanging around here in the lab. You know, this is an old transformer that I bought a few years ago and I never ended up using, so I just grabbed it off the shelf, and I had plenty of extra 12x7 tubes and sockets lying around and pots, and then there's basically just a bunch of resistors and capacitors in here, sort of stuff that a lot of folks have hanging around. So yeah, if you're interested in building something like this, I encourage you to give it a go. There's plenty of great resources out there to learn how to make stuff like this yourself, like Mr. Carlson's Lab and Uncle Doug, which are a couple of my favorite YouTube channels out there. And yeah, I've got plenty of other great videos on the Mears Lab channel that can help teach you how to do this sort of stuff as well too. So yeah, I'd like to wrap up today's video and thank you all for watching, and don't forget you can hit the like button, and you can also subscribe to the Mears Lab channel for more as well. And I'll guess I'll see you next time. Thanks again, folks. Catch you later.